Us for the December 14th Board of Selectmen's meeting. If everyone would rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under announcements this evening, just remind everybody that with the holidays upon us, please remember to recycle your gift wrap and boxes. Also, the fire department is continuing their Keeping Our Community Warm drive, looking for hats, mittens, and new or gently used coats, which they will distribute in January. For appointments this evening at 6 o'clock, we have the Waterboro Association of Business raffle drawing. And I will turn that over to Leo Burnett.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, people at home. Leo Burnett, I'm representing the Waterboro Association of Businesses. And this evening, we'd like to present a check for $2,500 to the town's heating fund.
Thank you.
And 72 businesses in town, part of the association, have been selling tickets the last few months, and they've worked very hard to come up with that funding. Pictures.
Thank you.
Just get a copy of this.
And I want to thank them for doing that and taking their time to get out in the community and selling the tickets. Without further ado, this year we changed it up a little bit, so there's a first, second, and the third prize. There's a $2,000 prize, a $1,000 prize, and a $500 prize. First ticket pulled will be the $2,000 prize.
Okay.
If you want to shake that up and dive in, yeah. We have Leonard Hanselman in Wakefield, Mass.
All right. Could you repeat that?
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's Leonard Hanselman from Wakefield, Massachusetts. We have Carrie Shaw from Saco, Maine, has $1,000. Wow, Carrie Shaw.
Goes right into the bank, isn't it? She's the president of...
And the $500 one is Waterboro Pack and Ship. Steve.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you very much for allowing us to do this again this year.
And certainly, on behalf of the general assistants in the town of Waterboro, thank you to the Waterboro Association of Business for doing this for the community every year. You know, $2,500 is going to provide a lot of heating oil assistance to families that greatly need it in the community. So we certainly wonderful. So certainly a need within the community.
There's still there's a bucket still on the counter at Lakeside, and we'll probably see if we can get a few more at some other key spots in town. So even if you're only putting 50 cents of change in there, it all adds up in the end. So anything we can do to help folks in town, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leo. Moving on, we also had an appointment at 6:15 this evening with Chris Backman from RHR Smith. And Chris, unfortunately, is under the weather this evening, so he's not going to be joining us, and we'll be rescheduling that appointment. So moving on, hearing a delegation. Seeing none, I'll move on, no correspondence. Under reports, the town administrator's report.
Received in the mail this week what our mod rate is going to be effective January 1st for our workman's comp, and it's going to be .88. When we was notified in August, it was going to be .87. We also had a representative from our insurance company come down today and conducted an inspection of some of the buildings inside and out. They did Central Station, South Station, North Station, and both buildings here. He'll be coming back in February, I believe he said, to do an inspection on the library, transfer station, and the Taylor House, and also to, as a follow-up on his action report that he's going to be, that will be forthcoming. There were some of them that we took care of this afternoon, but the main one that he talked about here was the siding on the old building. He's going to come up with an action plan and list, and then we'll have to come up with an action plan on when we expect to be, whatever he puts in his plan to give to us. And number one priority right now is to button up South Station on Pearl Street. That's going to be top priority. And we're starting to get budget requests, and they're coming in at a nice rate, a little bit at a time, so we can keep up with them. Sebago Technics did another field report on the 12th at the transfer station. And I have a copy for everybody. And also, I know staple work, well done. And also have received the Finance Committee's recommendations on the CIPs.
Oh,
And I get a copy for you too, Tom, and I'll forward them on. You want me to forward them on to the department heads now, or do you want to wait until the meeting next week?
Might as well
Go
forward them
along,
on
okay.
to now so they can look them over.
Okay, so I'll get them out. And as far as the transfer station, Clint sent a thing saying that he has been taking photos from the original site walk through the digging, and right now he has more than 150 photos that he has taken, and once the project is finished, he's going to put them on a CD and bring them down for David to try to put them on our website. And Mike sent over a notice that there will be a kids' art show next Tuesday, December 21st, from 7 to 8 p.m. at the Waterboro Town Hall gym. And they will be showing some of the kids' artwork that's been created in their art classes. And they will be having cookies and hot chocolate. So we'd like to invite anybody that would like to attend to come and see the art show.
All right. Moving on, Selectmen's reports. Anything?
yeah, got one. During a reported 4 inches of rain absorbed within the last few days, I'm pleased to note that I spoke with the residents down on Hemlock Drive, and they informed me that there wasn't even a puddle down there, that the system that they put in of the underground piping and so forth, worked very, very well. So kudos to those that had a hand in that, and I'm sure that the residents in that area are pleased as well.
Tom, would you do me a favor and run out and get BJ? All right, thank you, Gordon. Moving on to committee report this evening, we have the motor vehicle agent, tax collector, and general assistance reporting. One of the things that the committee implemented recently is when we have town departments that are reporting. In times past, we'd get a written notice from the motor vehicle agent and the tax collector, but we didn't actually get them in here to give their own report, and we want to make sure that the committee knows who our staff members are, so it was important to get them to come in. So we have Brenda tonight with she's our motor vehicle agent here at Town Hall, and she's here with her report.
This is my November report, and we collected excise out front here of $57,975.77, and that included 316 passenger vehicles, 50 commercial, 29 trailers, 1 under the farm equipment stuff, and 2 motorcycles and 34 transfers. The rapid renewal money we took in was $15,299.17. So the total for the month of November is $73,274.94. which has been pretty consistent. It's pretty, no big drop and no big rise, kind of steady.
Now, is that per month, or is that compared
This
to
one is in
last?
November's,
Yeah, but you said it's stayed pretty much the same. Is that from
I have-
month to month, or is this
Per
the
month.
same from last year at this
per
time?
month.
Oh, okay. Just out of curiosity, do we know how many were new vehicles?
No, it doesn't break it down.
Doesn't break it, okay.
No. I have papers that I thought I gave you guys that's from, shows different years. Did you get those? No.
They were in our packet.
Not this time, but in the past, I think.
In the past, we've got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that shows each year and the totals for, you can compare better with those.
Great.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how much excise tax is being paid to rapid renewal when it first came out.
Yes,
It
and that
was-
was in the paperwork that I gave you too, that showed the breakdown from when we first started until now. And I think it started at like 34 on the first year, and now it's up to, gosh, what was it, Nancy?
Oh my goodness. It was-
I did have it.
Yeah, I just lost that too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 20.
Anyways, it's gone up a
20% of
lot.
Yeah, 25%.
It's gone up quite a bit. There's a lot of people using it online. It's not a big jump, but there is more each month.
You know, one of the nice things about the rapid renewal is you can also set a reminder. So if you register your car next
Rapid
year, when you
reminder.
put in your email, they'll send you a reminder next year, 30 days ahead, that it's time to register your car again.
Better than getting a
And-
reminder a month later by the police.
Yes, it is. A lot less expensive, too.
The only other thing was the 95 and no one needing the title, but I think you guys have been reminding people each meeting, so that's going to be a big issue come January.
We haven't, I brought it up the one time that you gave me the letter, so why don't you go ahead and talk about that a little
Okay,
bit?
well, this is a letter that I got from the state, and it said on January 1st, 2011, the Bureau of Motor Vehicles will continue to require a certificate of title for vehicles that are model year 95 and newer. The requirement will carry forward in 2011 and future years. So until they do a law to change that, it will stay that way, 95 and newer. It's going to be a big change. People are used to that dropping down, and so if they buy a vehicle, they want to make sure they got that title. So,
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Okay.
Can you send Sharon in?
I will.
What year is that, 95?
95. Up next is Sharon Reed, our tax collector. Good evening, Sharon.
Good evening. As of November 30th, 2010, we have 4,130 accounts with an outstanding balance, which equals $4,539,768. During the months of October and November, we collected totally $2,622,953. We have 48 tax clubs, which generate $11,007 by the 15th of each month. We are being notified of many foreclosures. However, at this time, several of the lenders are paying the taxes, which helps us meet our budget. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions for Sharon before she goes running off?
Sorry.
Thank you for the reminder that tomorrow's the 15th.
Thank you, Sharon.
Okay.
And is Nancy poking out in the hallway there, Tom? Tom picked the choice seat tonight. He's going to be the gopher. Well, while we're waiting for Nancy, we do have our state rep, Erin Libby, here. Good evening, Erin. Did you have anything you want to put in tonight?
Still, this Friday, as some of you know, this will be the next time that we'll be convening this Friday, and they'll be voting on the joint rules, which is the joint rules of the rules of the House and rules of the Senate. So we'll see on that, and that's when we should also know the committee assignments as well. That's been a big thing with the leadership deciding that. And obviously, I've been actually getting some calls and stuff about the Labor Committee. There is some talk about that, and as I know right now, I believe that we'll be voting for that, whether or not we'll be condensing from 16 committees down to 15 committees, and it'll be some sort of combination, what I believe to be a combination of the Labor into the Business, Economic, and Development Committee. But we'll know that there's nothing certain, and that just is what I've heard, so there's some possibilities. There's some concern, people have concerns about that, but when you look at the amount of, the little amount of bills that the Labor Committee has, there's good justification for that. If you look at the rest of the country, there's 94 different bodies of legislators in this country, because not all have joint rules, and less than about 68% of them don't have actually a different standing labor committees. So it actually is the trend. Majority of them don't. So just because each committee has a budget, so it's kind of be one way of saving some money, putting it together with two committees that don't have too many bills compared to the other committees. So that has been a hot topic, and by next week I'll have some more information on that. We'll see what happens on that. So.
Great. And if folks want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yes, home phone probably, as well as one of the easy ways, 247-6461. It's 247-6461. Also, I do have a new email that will be coming out. It's not up yet. That will be a legislative email. On my website, it hasn't been updated too much since the campaign, but that is Libby for Liberty. That's FOR. LibbyForLiberty.com. That has an email base as well. That'll probably be phasing out the email of that and going towards more of the legislative one. But my plan is to have that as a mechanism, a tool for people to keep an eye on what's going on. I'm hoping to have some sort of either blog entity or just something like that, journal entry, something like that, where I can, not just what I'm doing, but just overall different bills that are coming up. I know a lot of constituents have been expressing information about like that, so I'm hoping to have a tool where you can just, go at your leisure, connect on and see what's kind of going on, and whether it be, bi-weekly, weekly, just or as needed, depending on legislative, issues, just trying to keep in touch with people that way, and of course email and phone number anytime if you have any questions, comments, and concerns on that, so.
Okay.
Any questions?
Given any thought to a Libby Facebook thing
There is, I do.
in the legislature?
Yes, I have a campaign one that hasn't been too active as well since the election, but I do have one, but I probably have to change that because the name is, as you know, when you put the name, you can't change the name of the Facebook page, so maybe I'll have a new one that just be state rep instead of for state rep, so we'll see that. But currently, if you go on my website, you will see that Facebook page on that, so, and I do have Facebook, so if you want to connect that way. Not the most, it's not my, I don't go on every day, so I'm not too active on the Facebook, just busy things, but is it another tool to use to communicate? I do receive the messages and things like that, so some people do communicate that way as well, so.
Well, no, you really arrived when you get a Twitter account.
I haven't done Twitter personally, business or campaign, so I may not venture that. I think between text messaging, cell phones, emails, Facebook, websites, that I think that's a sufficient amount. Maybe now if a bunch of people call me up and say different, I'll reconsider that. But at the moment, I think all those above is enough to communicate me with. So I don't really think you need to know what I do on a minute-to-minute basis. So I'm not that important. So. But any other questions?
Okay, thanks, Aaron.
Thank you. Contact me if you have any questions, anyone out there, so thank you.
Thanks. All right, next up is general assistance. Nancy.
Okay, we have some good news. We just had the drawing, and Steve Strong from Pack and Chip, he has donated his $500 winnings back to fuel assistance.
Wonderful.
So thank you, Steve. As far as general assistance goes, these numbers are from July to November. Do you want just a breakdown of each item? Okay, so far on rent, we have spent $36,081. Oil, $3,875.95. This is on the general assistance side of the town, not the special fund account. Food, $2,610.13. Household and personal products, $2,170.16. Emergency gas to get to job interviews, $46.95.
medications, prescriptions, $188.23. CMP, $3,360.51. Propane, $112.78. We've had one cremation of $750 and a utility of $200, for a total of $49,395.71 so far this year. Half of that does come back from the state, so we're at $25,000 into our budget already. Still got a half a year to go. On the Christmas front, we have had lots of people call and are in need of help with Christmas. We've, as of Friday, when I got together with Santa's helper, we've got a total of 40 families so far. And I understand he's got more since then. And at that point, it was 105 kids already. And I had 27 families of my own, plus the ones that he brought in, and he actually funded 7 of my families, which consisted of 25 kids, because we haven't had enough donations to come in to handle taking care of them all for Christmas. We're doing pretty good so far. I still roughly need another $550 to take care of the kids that we have as of today. And so we still need a few donations, and if that could come in by the end of the week, that'd be awesome. If not, I'm sure we'll figure something out, but not quite sure what. But that's pretty much where we stand right now. 105 kids already. And, well, plus, because I know he's gotten more families. So, any questions?
Could you, I think I ask this question every year.
It's okay.
Do people in need come to the town before community action, or do they come to community action? Where's the first draw?
On oil, you're talking?
Excuse me?
On oil?
On fuel assistance or anything else?
They are required to at least made an appointment to see community action, because they can't always get in right away.
Yeah.
I mean, they're booking out into end of February already. But they are required to at least apply for an appointment before they come to see me for oil at that point. But yeah, a lot of them, they'll hit us
So
both
that's
up.
the first step, and then
Yes.
after that, the need still exists, they come here?
Correct.
Okay,
I'm their last resort.
yep.
Supposed to be last resort.
Anything else? Okay, thank you,
Thanks.
Nancy. Okay, moving on to new business, committee appointments. We have one application for a committee appointment in our packet, and that would be for Willis Lord to join the Transfer Station Recycling Committee. What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved. Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Next under new business is committee meeting agendas. One of the things that, the board has been working on over the past several months is trying to increase participation on some of our town committees and boards, and we have gone to the new format instead of the bi-monthly council meetings, spotlighting a committee each week at our selectmen's meeting with a report. We have a general public service announcement now that's running, and we've started working on some specific public safety, public service announcements for committees that are in need of members on the board. And one of the things that we find we're not necessarily getting from all of our committees is an agenda prior to their meeting. So I would recommend to the board that as of January 1, we require that all committees post their agenda with the Selectmen's office on Friday afternoons, just as we post the Selectmen's agendas, so that people will see the agendas in the public packet that's posted. It's posted here at Town Hall, and hopefully people seeing what the agendas are and seeing different items that are coming up for discussion at committee meetings will allow them to be better informed and hopefully get a few more people participating. And what I did was I drafted up a letter that could go out to committee members, and you all have a copy of that tonight, and I would open it up for discussion. John?
It just happened that this week I sent out an email that just didn't get encrypted. I guess it came out garbled, but it was dealing with this exact same situation. I've done a little research over the past year or so on effectiveness of boards. One of the things is, one of the 3 or 4 or 5 points on effective boards is agendas, and then following the agenda. So certainly, I think for our boards to be effective, they need to go in and know there's business that needs to be done, and then they have a direction for that meeting, and it's I'm all for that. I also would like to, the email that I got out that no one got because it was all garbled, resend it and maybe next week take the next step on this, and that is to it's kind of a quick self-assessment tool for boards and committees to look and say, do we have agendas? Do we follow the agendas? And there's a couple of other items on it too that I think it might be helpful to boards to take a look at this. So the first step would be is to bring it before the Board of Selectmen and see if you all want to follow through with it. But I think it's the second step to this right here. I'm all for requiring agendas.
Other comments, discussion? David?
I guess it's a good idea, I'm not for it. I mean, I just feel you're putting more pressure and responsibility on the committees that are voluntary, and I think at some point we need to look at, I don't know, I don't necessarily go with it. So.
Does the transfer station have an agenda when you guys have your meeting?
When I ran it, no. I knew what I was going to do and what needed to be brought up, but I didn't send out an agenda. And, but, you know, I know they have their place and everything else. I just feel that we're getting, like this federal and state government, are requiring a little bit too much. But, you know, I wouldn't fight it, but I just don't feel it's necessary.
Gordon?
I'm in favor of an agenda. I don't know how elaborate it has to be. It could be, you know, basically very simple, but I think that with the lack of agenda, that sometimes meetings take on an air of a sort of a gab fest, and you really don't have like a roadmap on, you know, where you want to begin and where you'd like to end. And but even with an agenda, if you don't have somebody that's a take charge type of individual or a forceful leader, you can have any agenda in the world and it probably isn't going to be that effective. So you probably need a combination of both.
I think I'd like to just see us take on a role of getting the chairs of all the committees that we can in here and running a very simple how to run effective meetings training session that will ultimately drive them to at least the chairs of those committees to develop agendas. I'd like to offer that to them before we mandate that we get agendas. I just think that let's not put the cart before the horse. We've got some certainly by stature, be it zoning ordinances or whatever. The planning board has an agenda, certainly a ZBA has an agenda. Those are committees that typically would have that anyway. It's the handful that maybe aren't as structured or aren't as governed by an ordinance or procedures that may or may not have as much structure to their meeting. And I think effective meetings is really what we're after, not, gee, did somebody give us a nice-looking agenda? So the copy of the agenda doesn't do a lot for me other than, yeah, they got an agenda. I'd like to see and feel some level of confidence that they're running effective meetings.
I guess my feeling would be that I think most of our committees are doing agendas. Some of them are putting them out the day of the meeting. Some of them are already getting them to us on the Fridays, and we see them in the packets. My intent would be to look at getting timely agendas from committees so that the public is aware of what the committees are discussing. Just like the Selectmen put an agenda together every week, and it's in the packet on Friday afternoon, so if the public sees something that's on the agenda that they have particular interest in, they can come in, and I think that the community as a whole should be afforded the same opportunity to participate in committees by seeing what they're going to be discussing as they do in the Selectmen's meeting.
So, in looking at this, it's the forcefulness of it that maybe some of the, David may have some of the difficulty with. And I guess I'm not speaking for you on this, but there's one way of saying we want agendas for the public, and we think that agenda makes your committee meeting more efficient and effective, and therefore we're requesting agendas. And there's a difference between request and require. And then what happens if a committee doesn't send agendas? Is there some sort of punitive measure in the wind, or is it something to say, here's part of the things that we would like to see for our public, and also would like to see for you to do to have the most effective meeting, and leave it at that. So I guess the question I have there is, how forceful is this edict?
I think you kind of hit it, John. I mean, it's one thing to demand them, and I think this letter kind of demands it. And we have all agreed we would take a committee or two on. I think it's really our responsibility to work with those committees to make sure that they're doing the right thing. And I still think some of them could benefit immensely from some training that would say how to run an effective meeting. And I guess that's my put, is let's work with them before we throw an edict out that you will provide an agenda to the selectmen.
I don't think there's really anything forceful about the letter. I think it's explains why agendas are helpful, that it's hopefully would engage the public more. Yes, it says required. We can change that to
Well-
requested, but other than that, I think it's
Yeah, I mean, when you
fairly
say
friendly letter.
effective January 1, all committees will be required to provide the selectman's office with committee agendas by noon, okay? Pretty forceful.
I think when you look in the context of the entire letter,
Yeah,
I
but
guess
you
I
know,
would
we don't
disagree.
do that anymore, we just take things out of context.
But it's, again, it's a one-way communication, so you don't know how it's going to be taken. You send it out and say, it was meant to do this, but in reading it, if I'm a committee chair and I'm feeling a little irritated, then I might take it as, well, here's another demand on this committee. So I think a few words possibly changing that the Board of Selectmen request, and for the following reasons, and we feel that it'll help your committee be more effective, and it also lets the townspeople know what the business is, and maybe that's the first step.
okay?
I'm all for it, but I just, I think in a way it's kind of how you ask it, you ask people rather than demanding it.
So is there any other action the board wants to take with this?
No, just a suggestion, I guess, Tammy Jo, if in the future, going to add something to the agenda then you're going to present something to us, would have been nice to have had it in the packet, so with an explanation of this is what kind of proposing rather than,
Well, my time got a little away from me last week. Okay,
Okay, while we're on effectiveness and involvement, I've had two people speak to me this week on not being able to hear when people speak at these meetings. So I would like to request again that our microphones, sound system be looked at once more so the viewers can hear what is being said.
David?
Just as a point of information, to interrupt you for a minute, I did speak with David last week because I had somebody come to me with the same concern. And I talked with him, and he has done some checking, I guess, with the other end. When the cable does the rebroadcast, there's some things on that end that I guess contribute to some extent the audio quality that's being put out. So he's trying to mesh, he's looking at what we have in-house because if there needs to be an upgrade, I think we have funds that are available through that the cable TV franchise that specifically spells out that we can use those monies to enhance audio-visual components.
Without, we need town approval first.
I'd like to ask David on this. I mean, you're hearing it, and is it an audio, audio problem, or is it diction?
That's a great question. I think what I hear and what I hear on the computer playback is all audible. From what I understand from talking to Saco River TV, they're having some issues with their equipment up there with compression, with pushing the volume up too much to where it crackles. And I'd like to know more specifically what people are hearing or not hearing, if it's loud and crackly, or whether it's too soft to hear, that type of thing. Because I listen back on the TV and it sounds fine as well. So there's something, they're looking at upgrading equipment up there also. And they're kind of in that process. It's going to be a matter of time. But I think meanwhile, if we know specifically what the issues are, we can probably get some of it tweaked so it's better. But if I pass you on a DVD that I just recorded tonight, it's not going to be that bad. Pam listens to them every week.
What I'm hearing is they cannot hear what's being said,
At the table,
mostly from the...
mostly out here. That's because we don't get people to step up to the mic. We've got signs on the table, and we try to get people to get up to the podium, but a lot of time they speak from their seats. And I crank it up as much as I can. It's not easy. We've got to get people to get up to the mics. That's got to be kind of directed from up there.
Moving on to old business, journal entry policy procedure. Last week, we started discussing about updating our journal entry account policy, and Nancy drafted up a new policy, made some corrections, and it was in our packets this week. So what would the board like to do?
I like it. Ties to the charter requirements. Some of the stuff deals, the administrator handles specifically, but when it comes to the requirements of the charter, I think it's spelled out very well here.
And it has the piece that we had requested about, we get a list every week of, journal entries that have been made. So even though we're not pawing through all of those, that we're still in the loop as to what's being changed. Any other comment? What action would the board like to take with this?
I would move that we adopt the revision of the account policy as presented by the town administrator.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Moving on, dam update. Nancy?
I did not receive any update from them as of yet.
Well, damn.
Can you follow up with them this week and try it again next week? All right. Other, we need to sign warrants for bills and payroll. I'd entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, we have the minutes from 12/7. Entertain a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Pending decisions, we have the medical marijuana ordinance, public service announcements, this week's action list. We have the one committee appointment, so we'll need to get Willis sworn in, and Nancy will work on getting us a dam update for next week. Discussion of agenda items, we are going to have the department heads in next week for the CIP discussion. David, did you still want to talk about the commercial haulers permits next week?
Yes.
Okay.
And I would like to see Nancy force the issue on the dam, not wait for them to contact,
Well,
find out something here.
I do know when I talked to them last time, they have a big project ahead of them, and that was taken priority, but I will tell them that I told them we needed it ASAP.
While we're on the issue of the transfer station and stuff, did that letter get sent out to Hollis Selectmen?
Actually, Pam did some research last week, some very good research, and went back and pulled a lot of the old bills and old policies so that we can show them what the past practice was and the expense, which is far greater than what the expense
Yep.
incurred is now, and so now Pam's going to draft up the letter and get that out this week.
Yeah, I had spoken with Pam last week, and they were going to incorporate that within the framework of the letter. I was just wondering if that had been accomplished yet, that's all.
No, because we didn't get all the information together until, Friday, so it's not in again until tomorrow, so Clint and I will work on it.
John?
We may not have time next week, but I'd like to get on an agenda, maybe the following agenda, and that is to look at the existing procedure for documenting invoices from looking at it from the POs going out to the final payment, and scheduling a step-by-step procedure that can be easily audited for time and for effectiveness in getting all bills paid on a timely basis. And I see this as one is an electronic tracking system and also a physical tracking system, so that there's physical files and electronic tracking. So, and I guess the good start would be that is Nancy tell us what is happening and maybe what needs to happen in order to, so that we can, so she can have a real good interaction with the treasurer too at any particular point and see where our bills are, what is being paid, how long each bill has been in the system.
Okay.
So I'd like to see that. Would that be best on the
Probably
28th?
28th.
Okay.
Okay.
And then one other item, and that's that I would like to propose a self-evaluation system for boards and committees, and effective committee management and a self-assessment, which would be optional to committees to use it. So anyway, I would like to present that I'll get that to the board before next meeting or at next meeting, but I'd like to see it on the agenda on the 28th.
Okay.
Do you want copies of the current purchase order policy, which covers what you just spoke about?
Yeah, I'd like to see what's happening, what's happening as far as the step-by-step procedure as to what happens when a PO is made out by a department head, where it goes, And then what happens when a bill is sent? How is it checked against it? Is it attached to the PO? Who signs it? What's the procedure for documenting the signing of
Here,
it?
it goes by this.
Yeah.
Purchase order policy.
Yeah.
Which is on the-
Whether it's an electronic system and a physical system, and they can be reconciled against each other.
Okay.
What's happening now and what you see maybe need to happen to be even more open to audit.
Anything else? And Pam, can you just make sure our notice goes out to the department heads if it hasn't already about the CIP? Okay, great. Wonderful. Okay, reminders, Wednesday, December 15th, 7 PM, the planning board is meeting here at the Town Hall Annex. And I believe there's a public hearing that goes along with that on the proposed zoning change on Secocas Trail. Thursday, December 16th, 9 AM to 4:30 PM, the York County Community Action LIHEAP application interviews. If you need to set up an appointment for LIHEAP, you need to call 324-5762. Thursday, December 16th, 4 PM was supposed to be the Economic Development Committee meeting. However, that has been postponed to December 30th. Thursday, December 16th, 6:30 PM is the Garden Club at Town Hall. Monday, December 20th, 6 PM is the Transfer Station Committee at the Transfer Station. I believe that's a potluck. Potluck. Monday, December 20th, 6 PM is the Water District Trustees at Town Hall. Also on Monday, December 20th at 6 PM is the Charter Commission public hearing here at the Town Hall Annex. And on Tuesday, December 21st at 6 PM, Selectmen's meeting here at the Town Hall Annex. Reporting will be the assessor, the CEO, and the town planner, and we will be having a CIP discussion with department heads. With that, I would entertain.
Joe, just before that, one thing, and we kind of didn't do anything to begin with here, but just want to, send out regards to the family of Helen Carpenter. Helen, 99 years old, passed away this week. They're out visiting hours tonight, and they service tomorrow at the North Waterboro Church. A lot of us went through her 5th grade grammar school when she was teacher over there. So just, again, thoughts go out to the family, and the town truly has lost a legend.
Aaron?
Yes, I just have one thing to add. I was talking earlier about the committee, Labor Committee, didn't know what that, I just got a recent email, so there is a proposal that will be the new, be eliminating, not eliminating, but conjoining the Labor Committee and the Business Research and Economic Development Committee into one joint standing committee on jobs. So for all the people that was concerned about that, the Labor Committee's not getting axed or anything like that, they're just combining 2 committees together. I don't have the stats right in front of me, but I remember seeing data showing those 2 were on the bottom 3 out of all the 16 committees on bill numbers, so it does make sense that those, if they weren't the last 2, I forget now off the top of my head, but so it definitely made sense to conjoin those together to make them even a little bit more percentage-wise with all the other committees. So Labor Committee's not getting X'd out, it's just getting combined with the other business ones, so it'll be the Committee on Jobs. That's not, that's to be proposed, and it'll be voted on by the legislative. That's the latest news I have, so I just want to add to that.
Great, thank you. Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All those in
Second.
favor? Thank you, good night.